Hey G Squad, and welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to show you how I made this loaded meatloaf stuffed with mashed potatoes. So if you'd like to see how I'm putting this dish together, then keep watching. Alright G Squad, so you can see on the counter I have all my ingredients that I'm going to use today to make this loaded meatloaf, and I'll name each one of them as I'm preparing the meal. Alright, so we're going to get started. Okay, on the stove I have a pot of water. I added some salt to that. So to this pot I'm adding these potatoes right here that I cut up in advance. These are russet potatoes, and it's about 5 medium-sized potatoes. So, as I said, I'm just going to add it to this pot of water, and we're going to let this cook for about 15 to 20 minutes till it comes to the boil and the potatoes are actually soft. Alright, so while I'm waiting for these potatoes to cook and get soft, we're going to now start working on the meatloaf. Alright, so I have the frying pan going. I added about 2 tablespoons of olive oil to that. And so now what I'm going to do is saute my peppers and onions. So I have half a cup of bell peppers. And you can use any bell pepper you want. You can use red, green, yellow. You can mix it. That's your choice. And also I'm going to add some of these purple onions. Now ideally I would prefer to add a yellow onion, but I didn't have any yellow onions, so I'm just going to go with these purple onions. And so now these are going to saute for about 2 minutes. And this is the ground turkey that I'm using today. I just have the Shady Brook brand. It doesn't matter what brand you use, so this is the one that I'm using. And I have the oven preheated to 350 degrees. Everything I'm using today, all the ingredients, I make sure I list them in the description box for you. For now, I'm going to add the minced garlic to this. Get that going. Ooh, it smells so good. I love cooking with fresh herbs. It just, woo! It smells so good. So I'm going to allow this to go for another minute. So now I turn my fire off, and I'm going to actually move this away from the heat and allow this to cool down. Okay, so now we're going to get started on the ground turkey. Alright, so in this bowl I have 1 cup of breadcrumb, and as you can see it's a seasoned breadcrumb. And to this I'm adding half a cup of this milk. Is like 2% milk. The other half is going to be preserved for the mashed potatoes. So I'm just going to pour till we get to the halfway mark. A little more. Okay, tiny bit more. So now just going to mix that up. And so what this is going to do is it's going to add that extra moist, to your turkey meat, because sometimes, turkey meat can be dry. It's not like using beef, where beef makes its own oil and juice. This right here is going to actually really lend to the moisture that you're looking for in your ground turkey. And when I tell you, promise you can't go wrong with this. So I'm going to mix this and allow this to sit for a few minutes so that the breadcrumbs can absorb the milk. Okay, so that's good to go. That's how that's looking. Now we're going to move this off to the side and bring in our turkey meat. And so I'm just going to add everything to this bowl. Let me raise you up some so you can get a better view inside the bowl. Pan it back some. Alright, there we go. So now I'll get this open. I should have had it open already. So get that in there. And so now I'm going to, I have the Worcestershire. Y'all forgive me. Every time I try to pronounce this, I get tongue twisted every time. So I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of this to our ground turkey. And this is also going to lend some good flavor to it. That's the first one. Let me pour it this way so y'all can see. Okay, and then that's the second one. Alright. So now I'm going in also with, this is a 1/4 cup of barbecue sauce. I'm using this one. You can use barbecue sauce or you can use ketchup. Whichever one you prefer. So we're going to get that in there. And now I'm just going to add some seasonings. I'm using this Mrs. Dash. This is a blend seasoning. So I add about a tablespoon, going with some basil leaves. And again, you know, you season your food to your liking. So that was about a teaspoon. I have some black pepper. About a teaspoon. Followed with some oregano. Okay, same thing, about a teaspoon of that. Then I'm going to add some salt. Okay. Add a little salty salt to that. And then now here I have 2 eggs. And so I'm just going to crack these and beat these and then add them to the bowl. Put it out, rinse my hands. And gonna, I got a lot going on. So just going to beat these eggs. Pour that right on in there. And so now I'm going to introduce my peppers and onions over here, and our garlic that we sauteed. So now I'm adding that to the bowl. Get all that in there. Okay. Got that in there. And then Lastly, we're going to add our breadcrumbs now. Get that in there. Alright, so now we're going to mix this all together. And I'm going to get my gloves for that. Alrighty, so I have my gloves on. I actually wash, these gloves as well. So now I'm just going in with my hands and just mixing everything up really well. Okay. Just mix it up real well. Let me actually pull my sleeve up. Okay, that's how it's looking. Make sure you break up that, see how you have the lumps of breadcrumb mixture? You want to make sure you break that up and make sure it's blended in real well with your meat. And we don't want to over mix this. So make sure you go around the sides of the bowl and pick up all the ingredients. You want that stuff incorporated in here real well. Okay. All right. So that's how it's looking. All right. So now I'm going to go ahead and rinse off these gloves. Okay, so I'm going to move this off to the side and bring in my baking dish. Okay, so now I have, this is a dish that I'm going to cook my meatloaf in, so I'm going to take some olive oil, add some of that to the pan, this way our meatloaf won't stick. So I'm just going to go in with my brush and just make sure I coat the entire pan real well. Okay. Like so. Check on my potatoes in a minute. So now, what I'm going to do is take half of this ground turkey mixture and I'm going to add that to my pan, and we're going to save the other half because that's going to be the top part. And so now I'm going to go in and make like a rectangle, but what I'm going to do is create a pocket because this is where our mashed potatoes are going to sit. Okay. Break up that breadcrumbs some more. Okay, just create like a little pocket. So I'm gonna add a little more to that. Okay. All right. So I don't know if y'all can tell. All right, so you see how I made like a little pocket? And this is where our mashed potatoes are gonna go, all right? So now I'm gonna move this off to the side, check on our potatoes, and then, you know, we'll keep going. All right, y'all, so our potatoes are done. Let me just pan you down just a tad bit. So here the potatoes, I already drained the water. So now I'm going to add 4 tablespoons of this unsalted butter. Yeah, I apologize, my phone is ringing in the background. Hopefully it'll stop soon. I'm going to add this milk. This is the rest of the milk that I had reserved for this. So now going in with my potato masher. I'm just going to start mashing these potatoes. Mash it up, get it up, make sure you get all those lumps. And so I'm going to also season it just with some salt and pepper. Just add some salt, just gradually add salt, and then you taste it if you need to season it more. So I'm going to add actually some of this Parmesan cheese to it. And a tad bit. At this point I can use the spoon now since I have everything mashed. So now I'm going to use my spoon to just finish it off, the mixing. Nice and creamy. So I'm going to taste this. Okay, I'm going to add some more salt to this. Mix it some more. I also think I want to add some garlic. And see, fan, that's why I tell you to always season your food to your taste, because at the end of the day, everybody, you know, likes their food seasoned differently. Some people may not like garlic or Parmesan cheese in their mashed potatoes, so I'm just showing you what I do for my household and according to my liking. But you know, feel free to always you know, adjust, substitute, make it your own. Okay, let me rinse the spoon off, this fork, give it another taste. Add some more salt. Alright, let's see what that's giving. Okay. Alright, so that's perfect for me. So now we're going to bring in the ground turkey and we're going to stuff it with this mashed potatoes. Alright family, so we're almost there. So now I brought my meatloaf back in, so now I'm going to start loading it with this mashed potatoes. Just gonna press that in there. Okay, make sure you push it down in that little pocket. And so let me get another spoon and scoop out a little more. Behind the scenes. Okay. So I don't want to contaminate the leftover mashed potatoes in this pot because I purposely made extra because I'm going to be doing another recipe which you'll see in another video. So I didn't want to double dip once it touched the raw meat. Alright, so that's what that's looking like. Now we're going to bring back the remainder of the ground turkey, and this is going to be our topper. So I'm going to add that on top like so, and just spread that out. And then also in spreading, you want to make sure you lock it, kind of like seal it with the bottom layer of meat. You want to just seal everything together. And spread that out. Okay, just fold that over like so. I'm just going around the perimeter and just sealing it in. You want to make sure your potatoes are covered with this meat. Go around the perimeter. Alright, so that's nice and sealed. Okay. So that's how that's looking. You see that? So now, the last thing I'm going to do, and this is optional, I'm going to add some barbecue sauce on the top, a layer of that on the top. And like I said, this is optional. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, I have the oven preheated to 350 degrees. And this is going to bake anywhere from like an hour to hour and 15 minutes, uncovered. And you're going to check it like halfway through, and if you see that maybe the bottom part is starting to brown or cook a little faster before it's done, take a piece of aluminum foil, cover it, and then just, continue the cooking process. Okay. I'm going to add a little more barbecue sauce because I like it saucy. This is going to be one flavorful meatloaf. Alrighty, so there we have it. Alright, so that's it. So now I'm going to pop this back in the oven. On my end, I'll see y'all in an hour, 15 minutes, but on camera time, I'll be back in a snap of a finger. Okay, and this is, like I said, the leftover mashed potatoes, and I have another recipe that I'm going to be doing using this mashed potatoes. Alright, family, so the meatloaf is done. Here we go. Okay. That's our baby right there. Alright, so I'm going to let this sit for about 5 minutes, and then I'll come back and cut into it and wrap up the video. Okay, y'all, so it's time to cut the meatloaf. Nice and moist. Okay, so now I have a plate of Brussels sprouts that I made. Just want to put this here. And okay. So that's what it's looking like. You can see the mashed potatoes, the meat nice and tender. Add that to the plate. Okay. Actually, I'm going to put this back because I prefer the piece without the end. Take this out of the way. And this is what it's looking like. Okay. Let me get my fork. And grab a piece. Okay. So there you have it. Meatloaf is nice and tender, not dried out. You see your mashed potatoes in there. Have a nice little browning on the top from the barbecue sauce. Yeah, take a taste off camera. Woo, girl, you did that. Wow. That tastes so good. So good. Ah. Mmm. Woo. Wow. So much for my presentation. Family is so good. You see the mashed potatoes throughout? Oh my goodness, so good. Yes. Bring the star of the show back. Well, there you have it. Okay. Your loaded meatloaf or loaded turkey loaf. You see all the mash in there? Yes. So family, I hope you have enjoyed this video. I am about to end this and have me a nice little meal. But as usual, thank you so much for stopping in and see what your girl is cooking in the kitchen. I really appreciate it. You know, comment below. Like I always say, the usual. Comment below, subscribe, like, share. And yeah, I appreciate you guys so much. Stay positive, stay prayed up, and I love you guys, and I will see you on the next video. Bye. Okay, fam, this is what's left over of the mashed potato stuffed meatloaf. Mind you, there are only 2 of us in the house, and you saw my plate, so that's how good it is.